What is up, guys? This is Ray from Jackalmen Games, and today we're going to bring you a little TTS gameplay with commentary. So it's a concept that we've been discussing, and we really wanted to try to see if we can execute this for you. But we have some pretty fun matchups that we thought we'd put through the paces for our first match. We have what's known as Space Orphans, which is eLey, and that's Ray 1, Force Prodigy, eEzra Bridger, the new one from Way of the Force, and then a single die Anakin Skywalker. And then that is going to be up against the Aphra Executioner build. So dr.aphra, a very hot card, both at Gen Con as well as Nova, and then taking it home at Nova. And then the Executioners, which offer a really fun kind of mechanic attached to the characters, which is after an opponent's character is defeated, you may roll this die into your pool. So it's not like the Balatik untap. You have to make sure that those dice are out of the pool before that character is defeated. So that's something to keep in mind. Ashten over here playing the Space Orphans is going to be playing on dry fields. And Kevin is going to be playing on Docking Bay. So should be pretty interesting. I'm going to let the guys know we're good to go. Start. Okay. So it looks like we got a 1, 3, 4 over here, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, going to be hit with another reroll. All right, let's see what they got. 1, 2. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you guys. Hopefully that helps. I'm just going to let the guys kind of figure out where the rolls go. But we'll see how this pans out. I'm really interested to see how this Space Orphans deck works. It's something Ashton's been really excited about. One of the guys at his locals kind of put him onto this. So we will certainly see how this all works out. All right, just grabbing our resources and doing a little setup here. So it looks like Kevin will pick his battlefield and they'll be playing on Docking Bay. So Kevin starts off strong with a 000, and he only has to pay 1 for that. And then Ashten answers back with a 4-speed. Well, the other way around. Just a 4-speed. And then he's going to go into the Vibro. Yep. So Ashten is going to have a lot of additional actions. So he's going to have 1 additional action, and then once he plays the Vibro Knife, he has 2 additional actions. So, really good value there, spending 2 resources, able to get 2 upgrades down on Ray. And he's going to roll out with some good damage. So we got 1 and 1 from Ray. We have the 4-speed special, as well as the discard from the Vibro Knife. He's going to take another action, which is 2 more additional actions, and he's going to roll in Ezra Bridger. So a lot of value here because he could certainly resolve and hit hard. So 2 sticks on the Ezra Bridger and a discard. Really liking what this deck could do right now. So he goes for the damage and puts 4 straight into eAphra right away. So I think that was a good move. eAphra is certainly the engine of the deck. Now, this is the first time that these guys have piloted these decks, so it should be interesting. Kevin answers back with a dangerous maneuver, so it's heal 2 damage from a character and deal 2 indirect to yourself, which will trigger 000, excuse me. All right, so he draws a card off of the eAphra, dealing indirect damage to himself. And it looks like it's back over to Ashten. All right, so he rolls in Anakin Skywalker. And he comes up with a resource. So pretty typical with Anakin. He's got 3 resource sides. So, it's pretty good chance of hitting those whenever you roll out Anakin. So Kevin hesitates. Okay, so he does roll out eAphra. And we got a blank, and it looks like 1 discard. So Not a lot of value there. Discard's always relevant in Star Wars Destiny, but I think that he was really looking for some damage there, or at least some resource. So Ashten goes ahead and resolves the 2 discard. All right, let's see what he got. So it looks like he grabs a crash landing. We didn't get to see the other card. And a climate disruption array. So very good. All right, goes in with the first executioner and he gets 1 melee. So pretty interesting there. All right, so Ashten overwrites with the ancient lightsaber. So a lot of value here that Ashten's getting, and he will get an additional action off of Rey, and he takes a resource. So early ramp, that's always good with Star Wars Destiny. And I think that Ashten looks like he's in a pretty good spot right now. So he gets the 2-for-1 melee side on the executioner, and Ashten quickly hidden motives that for melee and comes up with the resource. So I think that Kevin will most likely take that, just to ramp out a little bit further. And there he goes right ahead and takes that resource. So Ashten playing the overconfidence on both the executioner as well as the dr.aphra die. So Aphra loves rolling blanks today, and the executioner comes up with the same 1 melee. And looks like Kevin is just rereading 000. The interaction with 000, BT1, and dr.aphra can sometimes get confusing. Looks like he hits pretty nicely with the 2-for-1. All right, and Ashton's going to claim the battlefield. This gives Kevin, free reign to do what he wants. Wonder if he's going to pitch to reroll, and he plays out a backup muscle. So pretty nice. So he goes immediately after Anakin Skywalker. So pretty interesting choice there, but I think he's thinking he'll just turn off the spot yellow, and Anakin's obviously the lowest health character, so he thinks he can get an early kill, possibly re-roll his executioner's next turn. So I think that was a pretty good decision. Obviously, Kevin didn't see enough value in pitching his last card to re-roll that Aphra die, so he's probably holding on to something that he likes. So pretty interesting matchup so far. I think both turn ones were pretty nice. Both players did 4 damage. Ashten seemed to ramp out, early in the initial parts of round 1, but Kevin's was sitting there with a backup muscle as well as a 000. All right, and Ashten plays a Luke Skywalker's lightning rod on Rey, giving him 1 additional action. And he's immediately going to roll out Rey. So he whiffs on the Rey's die, gets a blank and a discard. Does get the 3 modified side on the Ancient as well as the 4 speed. So Kevin is going to have to answer to that 4 speed, or things could get a little rough if he rolls out Ezra next turn. So we'll see what Kevin is looking to do here. All right, so Kevin gets the BT1 out. So if you guys aren't aware, it says after you activate the support, deal 1 indirect damage to yourself, then deal 1 indirect to an opponent. So with BT1 as well as 000, you're able to deal 2 indirect damage upon activation, which is really strong. And then you're going to gain some card advantage by drawing through your deck with Aphra's ability. So he resolves the 4 speed and rolls in Ezra, again, seems to be a little bit of a whiff. Gets a discard and a disrupt. So intrigued to see what he does here. Goes for the double discard. I think that's pretty smart. Able to get into the hand a little bit. And let's see what we got here. So it looks like you got a bubble shield, which Kevin, I'm sure, wanted to get that out early, as well as a relentless pursuit. So two pretty impactful cards. I think that that was a smart choice by Ashten. So Kevin activates the BT1, dealing 1 indirect damage to himself, and going to deal 2 to Ashten over here. So Ashten takes a shield off and places 1 additional indirect on Ray. He draws a card off of Aphra, so that's a great ability there that, discard doesn't affect him too highly. All right, so he gets the 3 for 1. So interesting to see how Kevin plays this. He might just want to get the early kill on Anakin, but I'm surprised that he didn't get the executioners in a little sooner, because like I said before, it's not an untap like Bala, but it is a re-roll the dice into the pool. So, yep, there goes Kevin just following suit, and he's really going to get those executioners out there. Hopefully, get the kill on Anakin. And Ashten rolls out Anakin. So Kevin disrupted, or Ashten disrupted Kevin earlier with the Ezra Bridger die. All right, looks like Ashton's taking that back. Doesn't want to roll in Anakin yet. Hits him with the guard, so very good play, being able to make use of that 3 modified side. I think that that's fine for Kevin. He might have to pitch to reroll or get the 000 in there to finish off Anakin, and then be able to roll in both executioner dice. So quick activations here. So Anakin got a resource. And then Dr.aphra gets a discard and 2 shields. So interesting to see how this will play out. So Kevin gets the disrupt off of 000. So not rolling that well for Kevin. So he puts the Force Illusion on Anakin, making it a little bit tougher. Kevin doesn't have modified sides in here, so it might not be too hard to kill him off. Pitches that he doesn't like you for reroll, so I think that wasn't too bad. All right, so he gets the 2 sticks on the 000, still has that discard, and looks like double discard on Aphra. So Ashten really looking to shield up Anakin. He's got the Force Illusion, and he just took a shield. And Kevin right away discards him the last 2 cards in his hand, which was an R2-D2 and a Dagger Immortus, so pretty big hits there. So he plays Docking Bay. Wonder if Ashten either might have missed the trigger from the Docking Bay to grab the R2-D2, but let's see. So he throws a backup muscle into Anakin. Oh, there he goes. And there's R2-D2 out here. So can't roll him in right now, but still a lot of value for next turn. So he backup muscles Anakin, putting him at 5. And he does take the resource, so good decision there to continue to ramp out. Let's see if Kevin plays anything else out. So pitches the second copy of BT1 for the next round. That's kind of the holdup with those droids, is they are unique. So once you do get the second copy, it usually is just pitch to reroll. So the backup muscle has 1 more damage on it. I think everyone's sitting pretty well. Not a lot of damage flying around. Anakin certainly getting low on health, but interesting to see if Kevin will get the executioner dice in there immediately. So Ashten straight away puts the Ezra Bridger's lightsaber on Ezra Bridger. So we'll see there. Back up so you guys can see these resources here. So really building up the board states between both players. Ashten obviously an upgrade deck with very few supports, and he's certainly showing that He's ramping with those upgrades, and Kevin a supports deck, and he certainly has his supports out there as well. So yep. So Kevin goes right in with the executioners. He comes up with a blank, so a little rough, but all right. So Ashton is looking to activate Ezra Bridger. I'm assuming he wants to threaten with some damage and or the special on the lightsaber. So he gets a 2, a resource, and 1 range. So decent damage from Ezra. All right, so Kevin activates the other executioner and shows 1 resource. All right, so he gets in with the R2D2 and hits the special. So if you guys aren't aware of the special, it's draw a card, then you may turn a dice to any side. So really good in a deck that has 5 dice. It's common to have to re-roll at times, and being able to manipulate one of your own dice as well as draw a card allows you to help out with that re-roll. All right, so indirect damage flying all around, and Kevin looks like he's up to 6 cards in his hand, which is just great value. And it looks like the BT1 hits a 1 indirect. All right, Ashton just seeing what he wants to do here. Still hasn't rolled in Rey or Anakin. So he goes ahead and resolves R2D2 special, and he is going for, let's see, a resource there. No, 2 damage. So he's showing 4 damage, and then he's also drawing a card. So both players, digging into their deck, trying to search for what they need. And I think that's a win-win for Kevin. He hits him with he doesn't like you, removing the executioner dice. If he's able to get the early kill on Anakin, then that dice is going to be able to come in. Yep. So he, switches up, takes the blank executioner dice and keeps the resource dice in there. All right. So Anakin rolls out and gets a resource. That's what he likes to do. So resolving that 1 indirect, and Ashton's taking his resources. All right, backup muscle gets popped for 1 more damage onto Anakin. So just the really great thing about the Aphra decks is, even though Kevin is solely focusing his direct damages to Anakin, he can still, dish out some damage here and there. And you could see it on Rey. That 4 damage is all the indirect that he's doing off of his droids. So Ashton overwrites the Luke's lightning rod for another ancient and gets the ambush ability. So, all right, so he gets discard, resource, 1 stick, and the 4-speed special. Rolls in 000, gets the 1 melee. So he's getting closer and closer. Anakin is being saved by that 1 shield. So, uh, we'll be interested to see how he, continues to keep Anakin alive. All right, so Ashton goes with the 4-speed special and pitch to reroll and doesn't hit any more damage. So he's got the 2 resources and a discard, and he's showing 3 damage between the Ancient and Ezra's die. All right, so we go with, all right, maybe not. I think Kevin saw that card read character dice and quickly pulled it back. All right, so he is showing the 1 melee. I think Kevin is looking to possibly discard to reroll. All right, so Ashton goes with the Rebel. and he's showing his one discard there. And he brings back the Force Illusion, so very interesting choice there. But I think it's just a way to keep Anakin alive because Ashton knows if Anakin does go down this turn, maybe with a relentless pursuit or something out of the hand, then those executioners are going to get to roll back in. At this point, just one of them. All right, so Aphra gets 2 shields and a resource. So I wonder if Kevin is going to start ramping and just continue to take the resources because he's in a good spot as far as health. All right, so Ashton takes the resource. Very interesting. I'm assuming he's setting himself up for further mitigation if Kevin does show the lethal on Anakin. All right, so there's the emulate, and this was a really spicy card. It's turn a character die to any side if there's 2 or more copies of that character in play. So pretty good there, and he quickly turns the executioner to 2. Yep, so Ashton grabbed that resource for the force misdirection, and he calls out melee, removing the 000 die as well as the executioner dice. So I think that was a pretty good play. I think he just got ahead of Kevin in actions and was able to pull that off. So Kevin takes the 2 shields, throws them on Aphra, and let's see what Ashton does to respond. And he hits him with a close quarters assault for 2. So still decent value there. Gets a dangerous maneuver as well as the second copy of Crash Landing. So it's deceptive on how much discard is actually in Kevin's Space Orphans deck, and he discards the last card, which is or second to last card, which is another Relentless Pursuit. Interesting that Kevin didn't play the Relentless Pursuit at that point. So puts down the Hunker Down. I don't know how much help that's going to do for him, but I think he just wants to dig deeper into his deck. All right, so he's got 5 on the Executioner, and Kevin plays the Hunker Down. And Hunker Down's all the way from Awakening. It says, if attached character takes melee damage, discard this upgrade. Exhaust this upgrade to give a character 1 shield. So fully shielded up Aphra there. And Ashton continues to go after one of those executioners. And Kevin claims, uses Docking Bay's ability. Let's see if he grabs anything. Pulls out the Climate Disruption Array. So for those of you who aren't aware of what this card does, it costs 2 resources. It says action, exhaust the support to deal 2 indirect damage to each player, starting with you. So essentially what that's going to do is deal 3 indirect damage to Ashton and 2 indirect to Kevin. So all right, so we're going into the next round here. Looks like Kevin has initiative and has claimed the battlefield. Let's see what he does with it. Still a really close game. The double Ancients on Rey is a little frustrating, but if you do think about it, the health that he is going to possibly heal up, he will be removing some upgrades off of the battlefield. All right, looks like Kevin gets out the bubble shield, so being able to make that climate disruption array a little bit more effective. So definitely a good play on his part. All right, and Ashton immediately rolls in Rey. Gets the focus on the force speed, some more discard, shields, resource, and 1 melee. So he activates BT1, causing him to deal 2 indirect damage to him. And then drawing a card off of Aphra. rolls in the BT1 and gets one indirect. So Kevin is really going to pile it on this turn, and I think Ashton might start thinking about possibly healing with those ancients. All right, so he's representing 4 damage, but could certainly have another guard in play. All right, so Kevin hits him with the first strike. Deal damage to a character equal to the value showing on an opponent's die. Picks out the ancient that Ashton just focused over to for the 3, and does 3 damage to Ray, putting her at 7. All right, so Ashton puts 4 into the other executioner, and decides not to kill the executioner that has 6 damage on him. So very interesting there. I guess he wanted to make sure that things were a little bit more effective. So Ashton is going to take 3 indirect here, and Kevin is only going to take none because of the bubble shield. So pretty good. All right, let's see where he puts this. So let me just let the guys know 3 total. All right, so far so good. I think Kevin's in a really good spot here. So he does 1 there for the shield. And let's see where else he goes. And it looks like he put it all into Ezra. And he rolls out Ezra. Shows 2 melee, a disrupt, and a Ezra Bridger special on the saber. So able to, steal one of the resources just as, or lose a resource pretty much. But it's deal 2 damage, and if this upgrades on Ezra Bridger, force an opponent to lose 1 resource. So Ashton quickly kills the executioner by dealing the 2 damage with the Ezra Bridger's lightsaber special. All right, so Kevin immediately rolls in a pretty healthy eAphra. And let's see what he got here. It looks like 2 for 1 and a discard. So pretty decent value there. Still has not yet rolled in the executioner or BT1. And Ashton goes right ahead and kills the other executioner. All right, and 000 gets a 1 melee. So Ashton has 1 indirect, or Kevin has 1 indirect, 1 melee, discard, and 2 for 1 ranged. And looks like Ashton's sitting here with a disrupt, a discard, and a resource. So we'll see. It's Ashton's turn. So he goes with the concentrate and flips to 4 damage, 4 melee damage, pays the 2. So looking to put that straight into dr.aphra. So I haven't seen a lot of mitigation on Kevin's part, and he immediately throws down the backup muscle. So pretty good choice. You know, Ashton does have ways to shield up, and I think that was a pretty smart choice. However, I think that shows Ashton that Kevin might not have a lot of removal. All right, so he kills off Anakin through the Force Illusion, so pretty good play there. All right, and Ashton immediately sees the indirect damage piling up and is going to pop that ancient lightsaber, the first one on Rey, and heal her up. All right, so Kevin plays reprogrammed, and it says choose a droid, or excuse me, discards to reroll. My mistake. 2 for 1, 1 resource, 2. So he's doing pretty good. He still has the resource to pay for the 2 damage. All right, so Ashten pops his second Force Misdirection to eliminate the 000 melee. So Kevin still has not answered the 4 melee that is showing between Ashton's character dice. All right, pitches the Emulate to reroll. All right, gets the 2 indirect, a discard, and 3 for 1. So I'm not sure how Kevin is going to find that additional resource. Maybe he should have kept that one out there and then just re-rolled the other 2, but he does have 2 indirect. All right, so we're just using that resource there as the power action. So Kevin resolves 2 indirect. I think Kevin's actually still in a really good spot, even considering the ancient lightsabers out there. The climate disruption array is going to be able to deal a lot of work. So he plays an upgrade on Rey, getting the second force speed out, and then immediately uses the ambush to resolve the 4 damage onto dr.aphra. So being fully shielded up, she only takes 1. So pretty good there. So he hits Ashten with the discard and grabs a hidden motive. So pretty nice to get that mitigation out of hand. Ashten resolves a discard on Kevin. And let's see what he discards there. So pulls that out. Let's just double check if he discarded. So just keeping it proper here. All right, so he got the discard on him there. All right, so looks like the R2-D2 comes in with the 1 melee and puts 4 damage onto Aphra total. So Ashten looks to heal again with the ancient lightsaber. Like I said, I still think it might be too little too late. Kevin is in a really good spot. Even though he is down to 1 character, he does have the second bubble shield out there, able to absorb a total of 4 indirect damage. So we'll see how this plays out. Now, this Space Orphans deck, the Elite Rey. All right, so Ashten does a total of 3 indirect. And he puts it all on Rey. And Kevin's able to draw the additional card. Yep. So double specials on 4 speed as well as double modified sticks on Rey. So it could get pretty rough if Kevin doesn't do something about it. So let's see here. Let's see how Kevin responds to that. That would give Ashten 4 additional actions and be able to kind of roll and roll and roll. So he gets the wow, he gets the Hellfire Droid Tank, and he only has to pay 2 because of reprogrammed as well as Aphra's ability. And then he's going to deal 1 indirect. Let's see. How they do there. So takes the 4 speed first action, rolls out Ezra Bridger. So whiffs on Ezra. So now we're going to look into possibly pitching a reroll. takes the second action to resolve the other 4-speed special. And looks like we're going to go with a pitch to reroll. Throws away the heirloom lightsaber, and let's see here. All right, there is the damage that he needed. So that is that's game. So very well played. He ended up with 1 melee, 2 melee. Wow, max damage pretty much there. Was able to deal 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. So both players, just quickly picking up these decks and having a good time with them. I think it was very well played. Truly showed the power of basically the hero version of 5-die villain with Elite Rey 1, Elite Ezra Bridger 2, and well, that was Anakin Skywalker. But I think it was a very good match. There might have been some plays here and there that could have possibly saved Kevin a few more rounds, but I don't think he was anticipating, the double 4-speed special. So that was a little rough. But thank you guys so much for hanging out and listening to our first ever commentary of TTS games. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to try to do this and rotate through the guys here. We'll have Kevin do commentating, Ashten, and then we'll have all three of us play. And we're going to be calling this Meta Mondays. So we're going to try to stick to the schedule of Monday and release this type of content to you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next Monday.
Do you like cracking packs? Join the Jackalmen Games Patreon to have a chance to win a box every month.